stage in the center of the room and have to give a speech, but really, it's a humbling an award to be able to accept this and to live up to the names that have had this award in the past given to them, and to sit alongside the accomplishments that General Sadler has accomplished over the years. To start off, Eddie House told me last fall that this award was going to happen, and I was like, no, you got the wrong guy, and it's the wrong person. But when I started to do the history on General Sadler, and I've got to take out my notes, and he's a really badass dude. So I was like, all right, I'm going to jump into this. So I was doing some of the research and pulling it up to see a general that has flown 35 combat missions during just the World War II European theater chapter. He flew 300 missions during the Korean conflict and stood toe-to-toe with Castro during the Cuban Missile Crisis, ready to respond in Homestead. As if two major wars weren't enough, he again flew during Vietnam, and he flew over 400 combat missions in his career, and he was awarded many medals, including the Distinguished Flying Cross and the Silver Star. And this is a man who has served his country, and to be associated with such a hero leaves me speechless. And I say those things about Sadler because if you don't know him, he just operates as a guy that's here to support Speedway Children's Charities. He's at all the different chapters, whether it's Texas, Charlotte, even Bristol, Atlanta. He's there every time that you're turning around. He's like that movie Deeds, where the guy just shows up and it's like, oh, there's General Sadler. And he puts his arm on your shoulder every time he comes up to me, and he gives me that wink of, hey, we're watching you, hey, you're doing a good job, or hey, most recently you're screwing up. That's what we're talking about. But, to get this award, it's an amazing cycle of how things cycle around. And I just want to jump into some of my speech, but I don't want to be standing behind a podium. But when I hit the NASCAR scene hot and heavy, as a 22-year-old, I knew everything. Driving, sponsors, endorsements, how to piss off veterans. I had everything going on. Heck, I even finished third in points my second year. When you're hot, you're hot. But having this whole nothing back attitude and go for blood, it'll catch up with you. And it did. This world of NASCAR is challenging. As a few of the years added up, I began to understand that you can't ask for things and simply have them handed to you. You have to work for them. You see different drivers or different programs and how it comes together. You never know who the men and women are behind the scenes that pull it all together. And it took me time to find the sequence. It took me time to work through of doing things the hard way, really banging my head up against the wall in many different ways. And when I met with Kyle Petty in the Victory Junction game camp, and I asked how I could be involved, it was as if the moving walkway just opened up and I followed their lead. And they said, come to the camp, be part of the camp, give your time. Don't give money, just give your time. And so when I met with the kids, these kids, they're unbelievable. Each week they bring in a new group of kids. Some are burn victim kids, some are there with diabetes, some are there with different disabilities. And each week I have to work with them to find out where they can interact with the camp the best way possible. And what I noticed is, here's this camp in North Carolina, it's summertime, it's 100 degrees. They didn't have a building that they could call their rec center or their big area where they could go and enjoy a climate-controlled environment, keep these kids cool, and so that they can enjoy activities all afternoon long. And that's when we built the Kurt Busch Superdome, a building that's 30,000 square feet with no poles in the center of it, so they can pull up any type of activities for these kids to play. And where it hit me, this is my first time where it hit me, is I'm sitting in the grandstand section, just the little bleachers, and there's the parents of all the kids that were sitting there watching their children play for the first time in an atmosphere to where they were acting like regular kids, and the parents had tears coming out of their eyes, understanding what it meant for their children to be involved into an activity like this where nobody made fun of them, or none of their problems held them back. And so that was the first time it really hit me. And so from there, working with Special Olympics, trying to put programs together, I love competition. And so you want to see these kids out there competing against each other. So we're trying to put together programs to help with different regions of the country, whether it's up north, doing things with snowmobiles and skiing, things in the south, such as going out and boating or rowing and swimming. And just over the years, meeting different groups at the track, though, it changed gears for me. With Speedway Children's Charities, with working with Eddie and doing the celebrity ski shoot, doing the bowling thing, we did our mud run here. But we did the mud run based around the Armed Forces Foundation, doing it through a military-themed environment. And my trips to Walter Reed and Bethesda have really opened up my eyes to what I deal with every day and what I'm able to take advantage of every day. And that's the freedom we enjoy as Americans. And so being able to visit these guys, these men and women at Walter Reed and Bethesda through the Armed Forces Foundation, that's been my backbone. Just with my struggles on the track, all the stupid things that I've done, falling back on the charity work and the philanthropy work, it's helped me get through a lot of things. And working with the AFF, it's meant a lot. And I shouldn't be up here talking. It should be Patricia Driscoll, who is the president of the Armed Forces Foundation. Most importantly, though, she's the love of my life. And she's taught me the true definition of philanthropy sorry, I always said it wrong. But it doesn't come from showing up or writing a check. It comes from putting in the time and the effort. Making a difference is what one has to do with the notoriety that comes along with being a role model. And being able to give back and making a difference is the most gratifying feeling one can ever receive as a gift. So thank you to Speedway Children's Charity for helping me help others realize their dreams can come true. And I'll put this award right alongside some of my big trophies, namely the NASCAR Cup. Thank you.